adventure in Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
This is Pipeman here on the Adventures Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with our next guest who, oh my God, they have some killer music we're going to talk about. So let's welcome to the show Lucian from the Whispering.
Yeah, it's great to be here with you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. And I'm back in Florida where it's sweltering heat. You're in France where it's sweltering heat. And, but there's no global warming. It's just really hot.
Yeah. just bad luck, I guess.
I know, right? So tell us what's going on. Let's start there.
Yeah, well, I'm here in a chateau in about 4 hours south of Paris. Just spending a few days soaking up the vibes here. We just came from Hellfest. I've been in France for about a month, about 2 weeks now. And it's been a whirlwind, amazing trip. Hellfest was amazing, really inspired. Just kind of here soaking it all in before I get back into the wild world.
It is one of my favorite festivals in the world. Like I saw something on Instagram, somebody calling it the Disneyland of metal festivals.
Yeah.
And I mean, that is the perfect description of it. And
it's so good.
Did you get to see, because they did this year, they did the Ozzy statue. So now you have Ozzy and Lemmy there. Did you get to see that? How cool was that?
It was super cool. I mean, every time I see Ozzy anywhere, it's just kind of a reminder I'm on the right path because he was so influential to me. And yeah, it's strange that he's gone, but it feels sort of the same because his inspiration is just always bubbling in all the music I make. But it was super cool to see for sure.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing about Ozzy, the kind of impact that he brought to the music community as a whole. Like even his last album, just all the people he was doing songs with are not things you would think coming from the Prince of Darkness, which just proves his legacy of that's not all he was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan and student of Randy Rhoads, Tony Iommi as well, Jakey Lee as well. And this lineage of guitarists has the one through line, which is Ozzy, of course. And yeah, he's just been the vehicle for so much inspiration for me. And when I was a kid hearing his records, it was the first moment of danger I felt and excitement, and I shouldn't be listening to this,
Right.
And I've been trying to get that feeling back for so long. And finally, the music I'm making now is really a reflection of going back and finding that feeling, that like dangerous kind of, I shouldn't be listening to this. This is spooky. And it's largely because of my experience listening to Ozzy.
It's funny you should say that because way back in the day, like I saw Randy play with Ozzy, and that was bad. That was badass. Okay. Amazing. And then I had this history class where apparently the history teacher, I don't know, got sick and wasn't there. So they had the music teacher teaching history. So this music teacher says one project, the whole class, just do an oral presentation on anything you want. Doesn't matter what it is. And that's your whole grade for the class. So I did Ozzy Osbourne, Satanism in his music.
And what did you find?
Well, first of all, I had a lot of fun because I got to play Ozzy to the class and bring in all my paraphernalia and stuff like that. And I got an A in the class. Best history class ever.
Amazing. Wow. Oddly though, the Sabbath logo has always been this cross, and the guys always wear these big crosses, and it's sort of a confusing message to me. I have never really totally understood that, aside from just the protection against crazy people who are coming at them being an anti-religious band. I'm not sure,
Now, you know what? That's the funny thing, because Ozzy was like a devout Christian, and they never really made it like Sabbath nor them never made it like they were into Satan. It was just people
Right.
assuming. That's how stupid when people look. I remember I used to walk around high school with the Diary of a Madman shirt. And I think that's what it is because he looks like, he's the exorcist on there.
Right.
And like, I remember this girl walking up to me and she was like, "You worship the devil." And it's like, that's the stupidest crap I ever heard. Just
Oh
because of a
man,
shirt.
it's so, yeah, but it really is a through line of my experience as well, with even starting in high school when you'd see the guys with the Metallica patches on and the jean jackets and long hair. Um, Ended up being the nicest people you could hang with versus maybe the football players or something that are ready to punch you in the head behind the gym. So um, it's a strange juxtaposition. This spooky anti-religious movement is largely free-minded people who don't believe in the dogma or the devil or any of that stuff, and really just enjoy the mythology of it all,
Well,
like
that's
myself.
it. That's it. Like, okay, to me, the whole idea of this fictional character called the devil, I don't buy it. But it does make for interesting movies and interesting music, and that's all it really is. It's like there's just a fascination with it. It's not
Yeah.
something you actually believe, in my opinion.
No, no, and I personally don't either, but I do find the value, and I'm sure you've experienced too, where like you dig into your fear or something in the dark that you may think is more a bigger monster than it actually is. And you
Totally.
have breakthroughs, right? And you discover things by just peering into the dark a little bit. And so people that are really afraid to do that, I'm not sure what they're hiding in there, probably nothing, and they've got themselves worked up.
Yeah.
Um,
Without
yeah,
darkness, there is no light. Yeah, I think you have to have both, you
yeah,
know?
man.
And it makes you a well-rounded person. But also, like, music is an expression of emotion. So a lot of times that darkness that people are perceiving is not necessarily evil. It's just how somebody maybe is feeling at that given time, no matter
Absolutely.
what it is.
Yeah, and not hiding from it, right?
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to see anybody hurt. Um, I often have a Wiccan pentagram on, and I do I love the mythology and some of the other connective experiences to nature and things like that that have nothing to do with the devil or any kind of malicious act. Um, Maybe a little bit of defiance against what religion has done to our community and our culture and what it's still trying to do. I don't care if people have their own beliefs, but when it starts to infiltrate our lives and experiences, then it becomes a bit more of an offense.
no doubt. Like that's the way I think. It's kind of like you do you, as long as you're not intentionally trying to hurt anybody or do anything bad on purpose.
Yeah,
Like if you are a great human being, I don't care what you believe. That's all that
yeah,
matters to me.
yeah,
And like you said, it was funny because like when I was in high school, yeah, the jocks used to bully the metalheads and the punks,
yeah.
but yet they were the ones doing bad things and not nice people, where we were just like one family, like
Yeah.
and like the nicest people in the world. It's funny you mentioned like with the Metallica backpacks, because my 80s battle vest, like it has some wicked shit on it, but
I
it
bet.
has a jump in the fire back patch on it. And that was like one of the original Metallica back patches.
Yeah.
So I was interviewing Winston from Parkway Drive, and I brought in person. Sometimes I'll bring it with me at festivals to use in interviews, and I just laid it out for him to look at. And he was like, first of all, he was totally geeking out on it, but he was like,
Can't
when
wait
did
to know.
Metallica have devil stuff? When did they have that? Like, and it's funny because you don't think of them, but there is
Mhm.
jump in the fire, and that's what
Yeah.
it represented. But they were never devil worshippers. Slayer, I used to hang out with them back in the early '80s when they were in the beginning, and they would laugh because Tom was like, again, like Ozzy, a devout Christian.
Yeah.
And just because you're talking about certain things in songs doesn't
Hmm.
mean you're promoting it. it just means you're expressing your art. That's it.
Yeah, especially back then, right? I mean, like I think Tommy Lee had two pentagrams on his drums, and
Yep.
it was really used more as an artistic thing. I mean, so some of the first waves of, or second wave rather, of black metal, Norwegian and Swedish music has some undertones that they sort of again embraced a bit deeper,
Yeah.
lyrically and all that. But even still, a lot of them, my friends joke now. One of my friends was in a really well-known Swedish band, and he says the same guys that were, like this in the coffin now are teachers somewhere. Um,
Right. Exactly.
you
You
know,
know,
it's
just
it's
enjoy the music. That's all. It's all, to me, it's all part of the performing arts. Like
yeah,
it makes it even more of a show, so to speak.
yeah. And it breaks the listener down a little bit too, right? If you can create an environment and an atmosphere and an experience that's kind of immersive, then you can, move people and you can inspire people in that space too, because they're a bit more consumed with the whole thing.
I think my whole involvement in metal all my life has made me less of a dark person, not more of a
Yes,
dark person. Like
absolutely.
even the mosh pits, like people have a misunderstand. Man, the mosh pits are some of the best therapy you can ever have. Like I think the mosh pits have saved some people from me kicking the shit out of them in real life. you know,
Well,
you know,
and the perfect example is like these mosh pits, they go extra hard, and in between songs or when the set is over, there's a lot of hugging and there's a
right?
lot of high fives. And it's like, yeah, it is a group therapy session, really.
No doubt, no doubt. So tell our listeners about the new EP
Mm.
and why they should check it out, like not from a genre perspective, but you as an artist, how do you express your music?
Um, well, it's been a long journey leading up to this particular project for me. And expressing music hasn't always been a natural thing. And it's been a process of shedding my ego and my comfort to a place where I feel like I can express it. And with this EP and with the concept of the whispering, really, to me, it's just a reflection. The messaging is a reflection of just the undertones of the truth between all the screaming and social media and noise pollution. There's very clear truth hiding in plain sight, whether it's the environment or even something as simple as the truth in your heart that you know to be there, but you wait and wait until you're ready to finally see it. So the whispering is just that subtle message that is above and below all the madness. And the vehicle for it is this witchy metal music that I've loved since I was a kid, since I first heard Blizzard of Oz and some Black Sabbath records. And so it gives me kind of an exciting vehicle to share a subtle message and have fun doing it. This is one of the first records I've made that I truly love and I truly enjoy the music. And I that's the key, I think, of all the advice I've ever been given and with music. Somebody told me if I don't feel it, nobody will.
Right?
So
I
I
agree.
finally got to right. So I finally got to that point where I really do feel this and I enjoy it. And that's the best part. And whatever message or feeling it conveys, we'll see. Everyone's got a different perspective. But for me, I feel thrilled to be making this music and sharing.
Yeah, and I do have to say with that whole feeling, it's so true because like how can you be an artist that is writing music which is super about passion and emotion if you don't feel it? How can you portray it to somebody else to feel it? Like, you
Yeah.
know, and people see that. Like if you're live on stage, they can see whether you're dialing it in or if this is really like you're in some kind of zone with it. And people don't have to get the same meaning that you do out of it, but if you have meaning to it, then people listen.
Yeah. No, it is. I think it's also the ingredient moving into the AI world, right? Where now it's more important than ever for people to establish an emotional center to the art they're making. Because I don't know about you, but anytime I listen to a song or see a painting, my mind instantly goes to the creator of it. What were they thinking? What was
Totally.
this person Yeah. So, and that's the beauty of the connection and translation that music can do. that I don't believe AI is quite capable of replicating, you know.
No, because there's no human element to the AI. And I think if you listen, like, people that are making songs with AI, if you listen to these songs, there's not, there's no real, there's no real feeling to it. It's like more like an algebraic equation. It's like very matter of fact
Yeah.
with no deep dive. Music should have a deep dive, and it takes you somewhere else.
Yes, and that's the key. And then again, like going back to the whispering, that is sort of the idea is to lean in, listen a little closer. It's often a whisper is more compelling than a scream, and so there's an opportunity for people in life in general, just to lean in a little bit, spend more time with something for a second. Go deeper, like you say, like a deeper dive.
It's a true story what you're saying about the whispering, because I'm also a public speaker, and they teach you in public speaking that if you whisper, people are going to pay more attention because they
Right.
have to too.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
they in their mind it must be important, and it must be something they're not supposed to listen to, so they're going to.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
then
you get it. That's cool.
right, and then or you can't like hear it, so it's like you're trying to hear what somebody's saying,
Yeah.
and I think that's so key. Like, and I
Yeah.
think I'm a big believer in the balance too. There's the screaming and the whispering, and there's a balance somewhere in between where you catch people's attention.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
And
man.
with everything going on with social media and the internet, man, I'm so thankful for your music, because I think something needs to be said. Like, because all this stuff, it's not making us more social. That's for sure. It's the exact opposite. And it makes us like, I don't know, non really emotional about anything. That's
Yes.
why people become these trolls on the internet, because they just don't care, and that whole zero fucks given, man. Like, I think you should give a fuck.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, man, the zero fucks thing. It's one of my main sources of inspiration because it's very easy for me to want to disconnect from all of that stuff like you're talking about. I'm sure the same with you. We have other things to do with our time. I mean, I'd rather go for a walk with my love through the woods here in France and not worry about any of that stuff or
Totally.
anybody else's mess. But I do live on this planet, and I have some obligation to stand up for the things that move me. And so, yeah, with the music, it gives me kind of an opportunity to engage with that public forum. Um, and like the whispering concept, we're a heavy band, so we play heavy music, and so um, the messaging is kind of underneath that a little bit. So I
Yeah.
just invite people to be more intentional. It drives me nuts. The world is just losing its intentional direction in every way, and what we
Yeah.
eat and what we do during the day. A lot of time is wasted and missed, and life's too short to miss all that type of stuff.
Well, even like what you said, being in France, like, people don't experience moments, and even if you're doing something like, I know the one year I did Hellfest where it was 2 weekends. I'm a surfer. I'm like, I looked on the map. I'm like, oh, there's like some of the most famous surfing, like an hour away from Hellfest. I'll get
Yeah,
an Airbnb there, and I'll do metal by weekend and surf by week, and, go check things out. Like, I think just anywhere you experience in the world, I'm all about that. Not only that, I go to places where the people live, I want
yeah,
to experience the culture. I think that's a big thing that's missing in the world. Everybody's like shouting on social media, but they really have no experience of any of the
right.
places they're ever talking about, They can only go by the internet. And I think if you go to those places, no matter where it is in the world, you find a very different viewpoint than you
Oh
do from
yeah.
just hearsay.
And when you talk to people as well, like you're saying, I mean, I love the trip you just described. It's very similar to the one I'm on now. I was just swimming in the ocean in Saint Malo a few days ago.
Nice.
Oh, it was fantastic. But yeah, people need to travel and they need to talk to other people, and especially Americans. I mean, you got to get out of the United States and you have to see the world and talk to people. And I don't know what this America first nonsense is, but it's the, the planet first.
Yeah, I'm with you too, because I got to tell you, like, I call it the big lie. The first time I ever went to Europe, I had a very different viewpoint of what was told to me my whole life, and it's like, I think people have to get out of their sheltered bubble, especially here in the States. It's like, we like to, as a perfect example, the first place I went to was Paris. And we like to say here, oh, the Parisians are rude. Now, I didn't have that experience. Why did I not have that experience? Because before I went there, I took like a blitz course on French, and I decided I'm going there. I need to try to speak their language. And a lot of Americans don't do that. They go everywhere and assume everybody speaks English. And that's when the Parisians are rude. So I was going to restaurants and I was butchering the language, but I was getting like the best service. And I remember one server, I said, I don't get it. Like, in my country, we all talk about you guys are rude, and I have not found that at all. And he said straight out, he goes, because a lot of a lot of Americans, they come over here, they assume everybody speaks English. At least if you're attempting to speak the language, yeah, you're butchering it, but it shows that you're not being some arrogant person from another country assuming you're in their country, because that's what we do. We go to other places and we assume it's our country. Like, that's why I love learning all the different cultures, because that's what made me go like the big lie, like that we're the only free country out there. I was like, yeah, no, pretty much every country I've gone to, I felt free. And even like last year, in between Download and Hellfest, I had 3 days. It's easy to get anywhere in Europe, as you know. So I popped on an $80 flight to Morocco.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was a really cool experience for 3 days. But if I would have listened to what I saw on the internet, it'd be like, oh, it's so scary there. Don't go there.
Were you in Marrakesh?
Yes.
Yeah, in the big markets and all that, the stuff.
Yeah. I even learned something, okay? Again, going on the language thing, all those people in the markets, they really hockey.
They go hard. Yeah.
But I found out if you say no in Arabic, they stop, and I tried it. So I was like, lo shukra, and they just stopped immediately. I could say, no, I'm not interested. No, thank you. No, thank you. And they're just chasing you down. I'd say lo shukra, and they just left me alone.
Yeah.
So
that's
there
it.
it is.
That's extending that little moment of respect. That needs to be happening. For me, I try to engage that way with everybody, is just extend the respect. It doesn't attack my ego. In fact, it just makes me a more open and engaging person to meet, or at least I want to be that way. And just like you're saying, any country that I go to, I try to learn how to say thank you and hello, and it goes a long way. And Americans have a lot of work to do to break some of the stereotypes that unfortunately we're all being clumped into right now.
No doubt. And that's where music comes in. And that's where I thank artists like you, because music is the universal language. When you go and you play in all these countries that maybe some of the people don't speak English at all, and they're singing your lyrics back to you, like, what kind of feeling is that? That must like blow your mind, right?
I mean, amazingly, it happened to me at a club here in Paris, where I went to a gentleman's club that a friend of mine was working at. And one of the dancers was singing one of my songs. He played he was the DJ at the club. So I played one of the songs, and he had been playing them. So the dancers knew them, and they were dancing and singing the lyrics to me as they were dancing, at a French club. It was fantastic.
I love it. Like, see, that's what it's all about. That's why I actually have a solution to all the world's problems.
Please.
I say we have one major music festival, like, that the whole world is required to attend, except the leaders. The leaders aren't allowed. all the politicians, leaders, you're banned.
Not invited.
But everybody else. And then I think it definitely specifically has to be like a metal festival, because of the love that metalheads have as a community. And just we could all just, the whole world could work all our problems out in the mosh pit.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I know. Man, I'm with you. I mean, and this to go back to what you're saying about the metal fans. Um, we were at Hellfest the other day and we're watching Deicide, which was incredible, by the way. I don't know if you're familiar. You're familiar with Deicide.
Thanks for making me jealous. Go ahead.
Wow, man.
That I
What
missed it.
so, but you know, my love and I, we walk to the edge of the tent. We're looking, and I see a guy in the Jason hockey mask, you know, with
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
white beard coming out the bottom. The mask is a little stained, and he sees us right away. And he was one of the more spookier looking guys I saw at the whole festival. And he beelined right up to us, and he pulls out his phone. And he wants to take a selfie with the three of us. He didn't know who we were or anything, but he just liked our vibe. And so, yeah, the three
Nice.
of us took a selfie and we hugged it out and went back to death metal. It was beautiful.
It is so amazing. I think even there proves even more what I was saying, because to me, Hellfest is like some of the coolest people and such the coolest vibe, you know. And I do festivals everywhere, and it's like that one. That it truly is Disneyland to me.
Yeah. And it
You
was
know.
extra special this year. You know, one of my bandmates, Dirk, is the drummer in Megadeth, and
Yeah.
Megadeth was one of the headliners. Dirk also is involved with Savage Lands, which is a nonprofit that they have. And so they had a whole booth this year, which I'm also connected with them. And it was really nice to meet everybody on the ground. And then to see Dirk jump up and get on stage and do his thing, it just felt like a very big family gathering. It was so special. I can't wait to do it next year. I hope that you're there next year because we're
I
going to
will.
play it, and it'd be amazing if you were there.
I will definitely be there, and I love Savage Lands. Okay, like
Oh, right
the
on, right?
whole concept of what they do is
Yeah,
amazing. Like I actually first got introduced to them at Hellfest when I was interviewing Heilung,
yeah,
and then I got connected to them, and I'm like, this is the coolest
yeah,
ever. Like
yeah.
and it's so needed in this world, you
And I
know.
think they planted 1,000 trees on the property of Hellfest this year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable. It's
yeah,
unbelievable. And just like all the bands are involved, it just goes to show too, again, what we were talking about before, all these dark evil bands, not so much. You know, they're not
I think
dark and
you
evil.
nailed it when you said earlier about the healthy aspect of releasing that energy, and embracing it, and it truly is a liberation of any kind of pent up frustration. You know, I
No
mean,
doubt.
for young kids, even up to adults, we all still feel that triumphant strength of coming through frustration, with Iron Maiden playing in the background. I mean,
Right.
what could be better than that?
Exactly, exactly. And I think people outside the community don't understand. Like I've had people like I'm 59 years old and people are like, "You still listen to metal?" I'm like, "Yeah, I still go in the mosh pit too."
Yeah.
And it's like it's funny. I had somebody that worked for me. I had to cover two festivals in one weekend, and she was a country girl, never been to a rock show in her life, ever. And I'm
Wow.
like, I need you to cover this other festival because obviously I can't be two places at once. I said, listen, here's what's going to happen. It's not all scary like you think. Okay.
Yeah.
We're one big family. You're probably going to make some new friends. You're going to have the best time of your life. And there won't be a bunch of drunk rednecks getting into fistfights.
Right.
We'll be in the mosh pit and there'll be no fights.
Right.
And she came back after that weekend. She was like, "Oh my God, you're so right. I made all these cool new friends, and everybody was so nice. And I teabagged this guy, and now he's my boyfriend." And then she
That's
goes,
good.
and I have this new favorite band. I don't know if you know who they are. They're called Bring Me the Horizon. I'm like, yeah, I think I might have heard
Yeah,
of them.
you might have heard of that. Yeah.
But it just goes to prove, like, put people in these situations and sit down and have conversations with people different from you and you're going to get a whole different viewpoint than the bullshit that's being put in your head. And that goes through every aspect of life nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said, man. I mean, there's so much division, right? Everything online is either you like it or you don't. You're with this or not. Um, yeah, it's just sort of maddening. I just hope the cycle breaks. I think, as AI is approaching, it's allowing us an opportunity to step back for a second too, and disconnect and go and get into nature for a minute and listen to some music. And man, I hope so. I hope so.
Everybody needs to escape the insanity. Like, I go to Costa Rica a lot. That's how I get off of the world, in the off season. Yes, yeah. Totally. And my brother will call me. He's like, did you see the news? I'm like, no. And I don't give a shit. And I'm going surfing. Have a nice day obsessing over that stuff that doesn't change your life in any way, shape, or form. People obsess on stuff that they have no control over, and we do have control over the attitude, and we have control over who's controlling us. And that's what I'm all about. Like, we need to stop being one way or the other and be human beings against everybody else that's trying to control us. To me, those politicians and that leaders, they're all on the same team. It ain't mine. Mine is the rest of the human race.
Absolutely, brother. That's so great to hear. I mean, I think a lot of people feel like that too, and maybe it's just a lack of communicating that message itself needs to be more. And it's not you dropping out and not caring. It's just you sharing and focusing your energy in the places that really matter, and not being bombarded with the madness. I mean, I don't know,
because it does nothing good for you.
No, it doesn't. It's confusing. I was always brought up to think there were checks and balances in government, and these days it feels like, but Donald Trump can do whatever he wants, right? I don't know where's the checks and balances? Where are the people that say, no, you can't do that, I don't know.
It blows my mind. It blows my mind. Some of the people who are his supporters too, because his biggest supporters are the people he would never break bread with in a million years, that he is actually against, and they're being fooled by it. And it's like, I don't get it. Sometimes there's people I've known my whole life I can't even talk to now because they're just stupid. I can't even say it any other way, because there's nothing you could say to them, and they just believe everything, no matter what is said. And like, how could anybody, I'm going to say it straight out, how could anybody on the face of this earth think that he wasn't way more involved with Epstein than, they want to think? Like, that's just one thing.
Right.
One thing. How could anybody disagree on that? Like, I don't get it.
I mean, he's clearly involved in it. I think at some point the supporters felt a feeling of power, like there was a movement against the elite in government, and I get it. Like, it gives them a sense of strength and a defiance, and we all love that feeling of defiance. And like,
totally.
But now I think it's gone too far, and some of them, a lot have jumped ship, and then a lot of people are just trying to save face and quietly.
That's the key, right there.
But they can't, because we're in this situation because of the supporters. So they have to take accountability, and they have to be a part of this change now, just as they were a part of ushering this nonsense. They're not immune to being a part of the change. Like, there is still an opportunity for us to meet in a place where, okay, this is beyond ridiculous now, so maybe we could kind of go into the middle and we can move forward together.
Well, that's why I totally 1,000,000% disagree with Gene Simmons when he sits there and says now that artists should just play their music and not have a voice. Like, of course artists should have a voice. It's always had a voice. Music has always had a voice. And if you have the platform, why wouldn't you use it to spread good? I don't get that concept.
Well, and Gene is one of the pioneers of using his voice and his energy to spread excitement and rock and roll fever.
Right.
And like, the guy's he's so legendary by doing that very thing. He's a leader for us in that regard.
Yeah, so that's why I don't understand it either. Because, like, first album I ever owned was a Kiss album. you know,
Yeah.
and like so, and it was because of that same rebellious nature. Or like I know
Yeah.
some punk bands nowadays that are pro-government, and I kind of scratch my head. Is it the whole idea of being punk, being anti-government, that
Yeah.
anti-fascist government? Like,
Yeah.
when did punks become fascists?
Right.
I don't know. That's a little weird to me.
Yeah, it's all confused now. I mean, I, I don't know what people's agenda is. I don't know. That's why I try to just keep it to the larger issues, like, women's rights and the rights of the environment and animal rights and things that are less, well, you'd think there would be less division creating, but even
Oldest
those
trick in
things.
the book. Oldest trick in the book. Divide and conquer. And that's why I say forget left, forget right, forget red, forget blue. Just be humans and
Yeah.
respect each other for like I have a brother that he's really judgy and he'll say something and I'm like, or maybe he'll say like they'll say something and he'll say they're ignorant and uneducated. And I'll say, or maybe they
Mhm.
just have a different career than you, or they come up from a different place than you, or they have a different upbringing than you, or they have a different education than you. And the list could go on and on and on, and we need to listen to each other's differences in order to work out our differences, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Very well said. Well, he's lucky to have you as a brother to give him that calm reflection and
Yeah,
offer
he
him,
probably wouldn't agree. He said I was wrong.
yeah,
But,
well, but
it
you're
is what
not.
it is. It is what it is. And like, hopefully this pendulum will stop swinging and we'll go to some kind of normalcy, like where like when I grew up, where you didn't tell people who you voted for and you didn't treat them like rock stars or
Yeah,
politicians, and you
right.
knew that, hey, if they were wrong, they were wrong, even if you voted for them.
Yeah,
Like that's the whole thing. I think you hit the nail on the head. People want to save face. They invested so much in supporting this person and defending this person that they don't want egg on their face by saying they're wrong.
yeah. But I mean, being wrong is the best way to grow, and admitting you're wrong, and those are the keys to becoming a greater version of yourself. So, hopefully people will take this opportunity to take responsibility. I don't know. I don't always have that much faith in the collective movement these days as much as I want to. That's why I think just throwing music into the world
Yes.
so hard like this is the only kind of real way I can put my hope into anything. It's just doing that, throwing it out there and shaking up something, getting people to stir inside a little bit, waking up them,
Yep.
putting more intention. Um, yeah, letting your wild side out in a really healthy way and celebrating other people doing it.
Well, that's what's really cool about the whispering, because that is the start right there. And if it just makes people stop and think, I think
Yeah,
that's what we need to focus on too. Stop trying to convert everybody. Just let them think.
yeah,
You
that's
know,
right.
you
And
never
then put
know.
that and put some intention into things. Like we are part of a larger sort of Wiccan witchy community, and a large part of the appeal of this lifestyle to me is just intention and doing things with intention, whether it's the food you're eating, or it doesn't have to be a ritual, but it has to be just a moment of intention and acknowledgement. And those little moments add up to a life of intention, and it's so much richer, and you stop making bad decisions and you start seeing the consequences of flipping decisions. And so, yeah, a little bit of intention, and just like it starts by waking up in the morning, looking at the person next to you, or if you're by yourself, looking yourself in the mirror and just being grateful for a minute that you're there. You have another opportunity, another day to do something like that.
And have some caring. Like
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
have to agree with another human being to care for them. You don't have to agree even with environmental concepts to care for the place you're living. Like,
right.
you know, you may not believe it's ruining the environment, but just put your trash in the garbage is one
Yeah,
simple thing. It's like people are like, oh, well, Well, it's all a bunch of bull. So who cares
But you
if it
still
is
look
or
like a
isn't?
dick when you throw the
E-
trash on the ground too. It's
Exactly.
like, why make
Exactly. Like,
yourself look like that?
no doubt. And we only have like, one planet, and we're getting rid of most of the environment. Listen, I live in South Florida. Look at what we're doing to the Everglades. You can't tell me that we're not screwing shit up, you know?
Oh, we are. I mean, the science is there. This is the whispering is more of a scream when it comes to this, because it's very clear that what we're doing to the planet and the environment is catastrophic. Um, it's not really an opinion, but it's whether people want to ignore it or just be culpable by disassociating and pretending it's not their issue. That's really
No,
the
and what's
target.
the big deal? Like, that's what I always think to myself. What's the big deal? Okay, so you have to do some effort to make things look cleaner and nicer. Even if you don't believe in the environment, don't you want to like your surroundings?
Yeah.
Like, don't you want, like, I drive by and I see them chopping down trees in Florida to put up strip centers that are usually end up empty because they build too many of them. Like, what was the point? Or, you're saying, well, these species are being invasive. Well, they're being invasive because they have nowhere to go because you got rid of their environment, and I could go on and on and on about that. I don't know if you noticed, but my best bro of life who passed away a couple years ago, but he was a big time environmental icon in LA. He was involved in, well, not involved, he actually did. He restored the Malibu Creek and the Malibu Lagoon. He's the
Yeah.
one that did the mountain overpass on the 101, and like the
Wow.
crap he would get even from some music artists,
Mm.
he would get such crap because, oh, you're ruining my view. I guess they didn't care that he was bringing back vegetation that hadn't been there for hundreds of years, and he was bringing back trout that were considered extinct. That doesn't matter. It's your view that matters. I mean, come
Right.
on. And
That you
isn't
probably
it a
don't even look at.
exactly? And isn't it a better view now that the Malibu Lagoon is in good shape? And he would build all those parking lots and rain gardens all through SoCal.
Wow. Who
And
was this? What
his
was his name?
name's Mark Abramson. He was very
Abrams.
involved with Heal the Bay, Santa Monica Bay Keeper, and Santa Monica
Wow.
Bay Foundation. And he used to go before Congress, like in cargo shorts, and yell at them. And he used to sue like companies and stuff because people just didn't give a crap. And he had a great philosophy about it. He used to say, I don't care if they build the building. I'm just saying build it here instead of here. So
Yeah.
he would get into these arguments with these major companies I think it was Washington Mutual or Wachovia, one of the banks, and they wanted
Yeah.
to build a building. He just wanted them to build it a block away, and they made a big deal about it. He sued them. He won, and they couldn't build where they want. But that was his point. It's like, I'm not saying don't build your building. Don't run your. I'm not saying don't run your business. Just don't
Yeah.
do it here when you could do it right there and have the same benefits and save the
Here-
environment.
Here's to Mark Abramson. That's amazing. Thank him for everything he's done. Those are the type of leaders we need. People like that.
No doubt. And then as soon as Trump got elected in 2016, what did he do? He got rid of all environmental funding in the state of California.
Yep. And I released the emissions laws. Allowing companies to pollute areas again. And make more money that way. I mean, it's small. It's short-term thinking. And then again, that's one of the things that we want to encourage people to do is just to think beyond what's directly in front of them. Um,
I'd say
because
I say that out to young people because like when I was a teenager, I'm probably had an attitude like who cares, like because you think that there's not gonna be impact, and now here in my 50s, I see the impact of the stupidity of what happened then, and the
yeah,
impact.
I hope the teenagers now are seeing it a little bit. This
Yeah,
is a generation that's come up having computers and cell phones, and um, they didn't get caught in the transitional period as much. So I think they see through a lot more of that. They know how to recognize things that are fake online. They're used to that. They're used to that filtering system. So I have faith in the younger generations that they will have more critical thinking, even though it seems like we've lost a pathway to that. I do think younger kids are a little more hip to the fact that the internet may be a facade. I'm hoping.
I
I think,
think and to your point, I think they're less about conforming than any other generation before, and let's hope that sticks as an adult,
I hope so.
because I always think of the hippies. The hippies became the yuppies, became the boomers. So, like, if they would have just stuck hippies, we might be
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. Well, and then their
So,
kids, we became hippies, and so we can carry on that. Like, you and I, we're still hippies at heart. Um, hey, maybe we'll break the cycle.
yep, that's what. And with organizations like Savage Lands and others
Oh,
out there like that, like, hopefully we're on a turn in the other direction. Maybe sometimes you just gotta. My bro used to say, like, I think we just need to break the whole system and start over. And I think that's what's happening now.
yeah,
So let's
yeah. I
hope.
mean, let's hope, man. I don't know where I find the hope, because it's really hard sometimes. It really is.
Yeah.
But being at Hellfest, for example, and watching Behemoth and seeing everybody united and smiling and having so much fun, watching such a wild show, it was so inspiring. And
Yeah.
it was like people can unite over the most interesting things, and when they do, there's a wave of strength, and it can move the needle. It just takes the right gathering and the right push of momentum.
Totally. And bands like you and your music, I think, help the cause, which is why Savage Lands connects with bands, because, I think, as going back to the very beginning, music's the best therapy. And I think music soothes the savage beast, and that savage beast could just be the crap we're going through right now.
So well said, bro. It's so great. Like, so, and you talk nationally with people all the time, and it's amazing that you have this energy and are coming from this place. I'm just really grateful for you. It's so refreshing and fantastic to connect.
Well,
Really.
thank you. And thank you for what you do, and keep making us some great music.
Oh, I
In
plan
the,
to, man. I got an incredible band, so I can't help but get in there and do that.
Nice. So let's get everybody out there. You can't listen to my show unless you check out The Whispering.
Yeah.
You're banned from my show.
Yes.
But really, it's some badass music with that. Let's just all feel happy and love each other. And that's
Yeah.
what music does. And that's what The Whispering is doing. And so thank you for that. And thanks for being on the adventures of Pipe Man.
It's my pleasure, man. I look forward to connecting with you again. Absolutely.
Anytime.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.